Okay, so my daughter Caroline, 7 years old, has always been what we would say is very strong-willed. She's always had a real strong personality, but she's also very creative and fun and intelligent. Just kind of had to keep her in check. But in March of 2011, she was diagnosed with juvenile idiopathic scoliosis. And so she began having to wear a brace 20 hours a day. And at this point, we just saw a lot of changes in her personality, and life got a lot tougher. She was real frustrated all the time, crying at the drop of a hat, anxious, worried, and she started having like some OCD type behaviors where she would wash her hands compulsively or have compulsive thoughts that wouldn't go away. And she would call me from school several times a week saying that she had a stomach ache, and I would have to kind of talk her down from an anxiety attack and just calm her down. So it got to the point where a friend of mine said, I think you need to go see a child psychologist. And that's not what I wanted to hear, but at the same time I knew that there was something not normal about her behavior. So we went to a psychologist and we had some testing done, and my husband and I, his parents, her grandparents, and her teacher all did the behavioral assessment testing. And when we got the results in, the psychologist said that she felt like across the board, she didn't feel like, the results of the test were 95 to 99th percentile for ADHD, anxiety, and depression. And so at that point, just we were really shocked that that was, first of all, that our 7-year-old was depressed. You know, we never would have said, oh, she's depressed. We would have said she's mad or she's frustrated. But in a child, that's how depression manifests itself. You know, being frustrated and saying there's something wrong with me, and all those things. That's how a 7-year-old says they're depressed. So her recommendation was that we go ahead and put her on an SSRI, which is Prozac, is what is recommended for children of that age. So we were shocked, and we left there. I left there bawling, crying, and my husband said, you know, Lauren, this is good. We have answers now. We know what her problem is. We can fix it. You know, we can help her. And I just thought, I just don't want to put my baby on Prozac. You know, I hate stigma and everything that goes into that. And just, you know, they say, oh, it's not habit forming or whatever, but it is a synthetic drug. You know, whatever you can say about it may be safe, but I didn't want to do it. So, but we went ahead with the plan to do it. And in the meantime, Callie called me, and Heather Bell had called me and invited me to an oral class, and I couldn't go because I had a hair appointment that day, and you can't miss those. But I ended up calling Callie later because I just felt like I had been praying and praying, what is the answer? What do I do? And I felt like everything was leading me to try this. So I met with Callie, and she gave me what we kind of call the trifecta of ways to help Caroline, and that was a change in diet, which Caroline was always carb-loving, cinnamon rolls, ramen noodles, everything, Oreos, and she's just a tiny wisp of a thing. So I thought, you know what, eat whatever you want. It's not hurting you. You're not gaining any weight. But what I didn't realize was that I was not feeding her brain. And so we talked a lot about adding fat and protein to her diet, and also vitamins and supplements in the form of fish oil and multivitamins and several other vitamins to add. And then we also addressed her sleeping issue with lavender, and then we started putting frankincense on the bottom of her feet and on the back of her neck. And we almost immediately started seeing a positive change. It was the week of spring break, right after we started, so she had a week of being on the protocol, and then she went back to school. And her teacher had known that we were
seeing the psychologist and what our diagnosis was, and I told her that we were going to put her on medicine. So I said, let me know if there were any changes. So the first day, Caroline had a great day. Second day, Caroline had a great day. And by Friday, I got a message from her that said, this has possibly been the best week of first grade that Caroline has had all year. And so, and it's the end of the year, you know, it's April, and I hadn't gotten a message like that all year long. So, I was just ecstatic, and honestly, since then, we've been on a roll. I mean, she still has her moments. I mean, she's still a diva, and she's still got a strong-willed personality, but I cannot tell you the last time she had like a hand-washing episode or told me that she was worried. She gets out of the car line and says, bye, Mommy, I love you, have a great day. And before this, y'all, I was literally like pushing her out of the door, making promises about what we're going to do after school just to get her out the door. And honestly, like, I would wake up in the morning counting down the seconds until I got to push that child out the door, you know? And I felt like our whole family was on pins and needles because we were always worried about upsetting her, about her freaking out. And the other day, she actually opened the refrigerator door and the gallon of milk fell out of the refrigerator and it landed on her foot. And normally that would be like straight to the ground, screaming mama, temper tantrum, losing it. And she just bent down, calmly picked up the milk and put it back in the refrigerator. And, you know, that sounds like a normal behavior, but I looked at her, I said, you did not freak out. And she goes, you're right, I didn't. Like, she did not have the normal reaction, and I just feel like our whole way of living has changed. I feel like I'm paying attention to everything that goes into her body. I'm paying attention to her moods and how to help her and how to help our whole family, and honestly, it's just been crazy.